That's what happens. Yep, that's what happened. Where are they?
I don't know.
Oh, I even text Angie. And now it's recorded, of course. Now it's like me complaining. Yep. So, all right.
Where's Joe and Angie?
I know. What the heck?
That's funny.
Oh, all right. Well, I went ahead and started the recording. So if we want to go ahead and get started on the official portion of the meeting, that'd be great. And any of those extra logistics things that you want to share, since we do have folks that haven't gotten to a meeting yet, that'll be really helpful. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Let me know if you can see. We already had this conversation about people saying, "Can you see my screen?" All right, my
real quick for you guys there, can you see me or am I just a blank screen?
You and Braden are both just a blank screen.
Yeah, I have no idea how to get. I mean, you don't need to see me, I suppose, but yeah, I don't know much about this.
Oh, you're good. If you want for us to be able to see you, you can go down on the bottom of the screen unless you're on your phone, and then it's a little bit different. But there's the video if you want to start video.
Oh,
yeah, because it says right now you and Braden's video is just turned off, so it shows that it exists. It just needs turned on.
Oh, crud.
Can you see me?
Yep, I can see Braden. Yep.
Okay, I haven't used Zoom in forever, so I didn't know.
Yeah, that's what we mainly use it, or that or Teams. Yeah, and I thought, not everybody probably has Teams, so.
So Kevin, do you see audio and video at the bottom left? If you
trying, I'm not the best at this,
You're good. You're good. No obligation to put your mug on the screen. So, all right.
Hey, I got all dressed up for this, so.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh. I just left all my work clothes, so. Oh, there he is.
There you go.
Hey, good deal.
Hi, everybody.
All right.
Hi, bud. Good to see you.
You too.
All right, so here we go. So this is just an update from the PowerPoint that actually I don't think Braden and Kevin, I don't think you were at the meeting when I had my big old long PowerPoint. So this will be new for you guys. So we do have an updated build site. We were actually really close to the border on the original site, and it was a lot more urban. When we have built previously, when a lot of us have built previously in Juarez, it's been what's called out in the farms. So like way kind of out in the desert. You can kind of see this is kind of in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse. Sometimes it shows up on Zoom and sometimes it doesn't. So you can see where the yellow star is. That's actually where our build site is. Google Street View does not go down this road. So it's probably because it's not really a road. And so I wasn't able to show like a street view of that site, but this is a little closer to what we are used to building, and it's a little bit more populated, but this is pretty close. Matt, wouldn't you say to what maybe our first build was a little closer to this?
Probably more populated, definitely more populated than our last build, even though it was by the school, seemed like it was a little more spaced out.
Yeah, it was very middle of nowhere. And then our previous build was about 45 minutes from the Shock, our dorm that we'll be staying in. And from this map, you can see it is now 7 minutes. So those bathroom breaks are going to be a lot more realistic now.
Oh yeah, good deal.
Hey, if you go back to that picture where it shows all the houses around, Mike, you know what that means, don't you? More dogs to pet.
Yeah,
have more.
And they have to be more domesticated since there's so many homes around.
Yeah, they have to be.
You two got your tetanus shots, right? Or
yes.
Yeah.
What's a little bite?
Do you know what all the cars are across the street?
I don't. Like I said, I'm very interested, but yeah, Google Maps is not. Was just about as close as I could zoom in, and there was no street view. So I'm very curious what that is also.
Well, and I'm curious, like they had a name of the church. I'm curious if they have the church close to this, or if it's more like a satellite.
Oh yeah, kind of like what ours was last time.
Mm-hmm.
In Juarez. Mm-hmm. Oh. All right. So going back, so there's our map. So you can kind of see this is our build site. If you can't see my map, my mouse, can you see my mouse?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good. I was on a call the other day and they couldn't see my mouse. On the right-hand side of the screen, this is the build site. This is kind of like that main road. So when, like Matt's mentioned, stopping at a gas station that's not really a gas station. So that is along this main road here. it's like a 4-lane highway with lots of speed bumps, which, you know, makes sense. And then the shock is just along this road right here. Matt and I's first build was actually in this neighborhood. It wasn't far from the shock at all. I think we were just, you know, a couple loops around. And so we've built in this neighborhood before, where the shock is. So you kind of get. Do what?
Do you know where our last build was in Juarez? On this, is it on this map somewhere, or do we know?
I don't know. I know it was on the north side of the main road.
Because it still wasn't too far away, so I
No.
could see it potentially being in this cluster somewhere.
Yes.
It was nice being in the same neighborhood as the shock, because literally if you needed to, you could have walked back to the dorm, where this is far enough that you'd want to hitch a ride to get back for anything. So
Yep, you'd probably want to plan. We'll plan those trips as much as we can. I know nature calls.
Sure.
Yeah. So, all right. And so you can kind of see a little bit better from zooming out. This is why we call it the farms. It really is kind of the middle of nowhere. You can see just like, you know, lots and lots of desert, and then just kind of clusters of neighborhoods. So, all right. This is our new family. Alan Gadiel Martinez Torres is who we are building for. Oh crap, I didn't update his he's not he's 18 actually. Christian is 18. The pastor's goal is they're living with their parents now in a very small space, and they need a space of their own to be able to grow into. So this is 2 brothers that we're going to be building. Weekly income of $125, and their prayer request is that they're asking for prayers for their family and for the church. So we're excited about this. So please be praying for these folks, even though apparently there's tons of typos on this that I saw. We're just gonna flip right
I'm
past.
glad you mentioned that.
Really? Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear. He's a peach. Okay. This says next meeting, but our next meeting is literally we're meeting at the airport the next time we're all going to be together. So we've gotten an update on our 9 a.m. service. Or on the prayer that we're going to be having. It's not prayer. That doesn't need to be in quotes, but on the prayer that we're going to be having on May 4th. So that's this Sunday. There's been a little bit of logistics that's moved around a little bit, and so usually what will happen, and Kevin and Melissa, I think you guys actually came up to pray for us the last time we did this, but we won't be going up for prayer. But there will be an announcement during the 9 a.m. service. That will just stand. They'll make an announcement. You know, anybody who is going on the Juarez trip, and I think also the Austria trip is leaving close to when we're leaving as well. And so they'll have everybody stand that's going on a mission trip this month, and they will pray for us from there rather than us kind of all going up together.
Is that what Heidi said? I'm replaying it in my head because I thought originally they were having this come up on stage, but I thought the replacement was still walking down and being in front of the stage.
No,
so
not
you're saying
according
we're
to-
not even okay.
Yes. Yep. Not according to her late. She just sent an email like maybe about a half an hour ago.
Yes.
And so she's asked for us to kind of sit down in the lower portions, kind of as close to the front as we can during the 9 a.m. service, to not necessarily be up in the balcony or anything like that, so folks can see us. But yeah, we will. Yeah, Andrew's thing just totally totally like threw us all off.
Yeah.
Started Andrew. And so yeah, so that's the plan, is that we will just stand instead of all go up for prayer.
So we need to come to the 9 a.m. is what I'm hearing.
Yes, if you're able to come to the 9 a.m., please do.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Paperwork. You will have not only a couple of forms on the service reef through the church site that need to be completed, and all those are digital. You don't need to print those out or anything. You can just click through those and it'll add your digital signature. We used to have to print those and scan them and send them to or bring them physically to Heidi. So that's a nice addition. You will also have a a link that you received directly from CASAS. So it might have fallen in your spam box. So make sure that you check that. That is a waiver that has to be signed through the CASAS organization. And so if you are missing that, please let us know. I think Stacy was going to try to see if she could resend that link. So, you know, make sure you are have all of your paperwork up to date. If there's any issues with you know, passport or anything like that, let us know. I think there was one item outstanding. Let me check Heidi's email here real quick, see if there's anything else.
On Brayton, confirmation that he got his passport.
Okay.
Oh, I just submitted it like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yep. Sorry about
Yep. Not invited. Yeah. Not invited on stage. Okay. Yep. That's good. And I think my travel information as far as the times goes is correct. We can at least be, you know, at the very least, you should receive the travel documentation via email from Heidi. Or Matt, we might need to forward that to everybody. I think it's in our inbox, so so that they've got that travel itinerary. But the times are correct. We will be meeting at the airport at 1:15 for our 4 p.m. flight via Southwest. We'll be flying to Austin, landing at about 5:35 their time, and then flying out at 7:45, getting into El Paso at 8:25. Dinner will be on your own this evening or that evening, that Sunday night. And so sometimes, you know, that we're getting there pretty late. I think sometimes we've gone out to dinner or something like that, but looking at this, we probably grab something to eat in Austin, and then maybe a snack or something later. But I don't know if we'll plan a full trip to go get fast food or something like that, but on that night. We will provide some additional details for Sunday, the 18th, the next morning. We will be attending Gus's church and then grabbing lunch. There's a barbecue place that we've been to a few times that's pretty fabulous. So we'll probably go back there unless Gus has something pretty awesome that he wants to take us to before we head across the border. And then that's when we will get ourselves set up at the Shock, do our shopping, you know, all of that. So that kind of kicks off the beginning of our trip.
Real quick, I know you said this earlier, bags, again, 2 checked bags, and then we can carry something on.
Correct. We can do that. And because our flights were booked early, Southwest is still honoring that. Yes, you've got 2 checked bags. I know we've got a trip booked in November and they're still going to honor that as well. But yeah, 2 checked bags per person and 1 carry-on. Highly recommend putting your tools and all of those things in a carry-on, in your in a checked bag.
Right.
You know, they frown on bringing hammers and, you know, box knives and things like that on the plane. So.
And I think it's so, like, for me, if I recall right, Southwest does the 2 check bags and then a carry-on with a personal item. So that could be like your carry-on and a purse. Like for me, I do a backpack as like my carry-on, and then I have a CPAP machine. So my personal item is my CPAP machine, and I do a backpack.
Actually, a CPAP machine does not, because it's a medical device, it does not take up that personal item.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's good to know. I've always treated it like my personal item because
Yes.
I don't want to put it in my luggage and it get destroyed.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think some of them are like now counting like your pillow as a personal item and blankets as a personal item. So it all depends on how you pack it. But I think with Southwest, it's definitely the 2 checked, definitely a carry-on, and then that 1 personal item that you can take with you.
Yep.
Perfect.
But yeah, definitely pack. Like to me, if going as a family, like I would have taken all my tools and put into 1 piece of luggage, just because that's just because I can take 2 checked luggages doesn't mean I want to lug them around. So for my family, when we'd go, we'd throw all the tools in 1 case, so I just have one additional. So you might just want to think through what that looks like.
Right.
Yep.
For just packing, and like I said, not because you can't pack all that, but it's just more for you have to lug around when we get there. So.
Yep. And be strategic with the weight. If you are able to take 2 bags, try to split the jeans and the tools. Those can get really heavy. I think my first year I actually had, because I only took one bag, it was me on my own. I had the jeans and the tools all in one bag, and I think I had to pay extra for the weight. So just be prepared for that. And if you're able to split it up into 2 bags and split your jeans and the tools into 2 bags, that's it's very helpful.
And I don't know, we've gone on enough trips now because of that. We've had to sit in the line and move clothes from one bag to another. And so we actually bought, it's a hand scale that it has a little loop that you wrap it around your handle and you can pick it up and it tells you how much you weighs. And they're not real expensive, and you can pack it, take it with you so that you can weigh stuff coming back. But it's a nifty little tool to have if you travel quite often. So
Matt, you don't make your husband get on a scale, weigh himself, and then hold the suitcase.
We've done that for years. We did that for years.
That's what we do.
And then Ange figured out, hey, I could spend, $20 and go buy this little handheld thing. And we've loaned it out to other family members just so they could do the same thing. Because, yeah, it's kind of embarrassing to unzip stuff while people are waiting behind you to try to, move stuff around in your luggage. But
Oh, yeah. Yep.
or like you said, get stuck paying extra for something like that.
Yep. Yep, for sure. All right, Melissa, since you're on here, I'm going to scroll back really quick and show the build site. And so here's
Thank
our
you.
build. Yeah, here's our new build site. This is our new update. So where you see the star, that's where we're going to be building. This is a
Okay.
lot more. This is a lot closer to where we've all built before in this area. The original site that we had was very close to the border and a lot more urban. This is way out in the farms, and so a lot closer to the shock. And so the shock is right down here on your lower left, and about a 7-minute drive to our build site. So the bathroom breaks will be an option. Yeah. Yeah. And then
Good.
this is our new family.
Aw.
Alan and Christian. There's a typo here. Alan is 23. Christian is actually 18. They are brothers. And the weekly income of 125. So, and then just these updates as far as meeting at the airport at 1:15 for our 4 p.m. flight. Make sure that and I think I mentioned you've got both the service wreath paperwork to complete, and then also the a waiver that you'll get through CASAS. And if you don't have that in your email or haven't completed that, let us know, and we can resend, make sure that link is resent to you.
So do you have visibility to that, Amanda? Because he joined me. So I think I've completed everything. Hi, Brayden. Do you have visibility to that?
That's a good question. Matt, do you have admin access?
Service brief? Is that
Well, service wreath and the CASAS. I know. I think Stacy's able to look at that because she was the one that actually brought that up to me.
So to look at what? I'm sorry.
To look to see if the waivers with CASAS have been completed, and then all the paperwork's been completed on the service wreath site.
So as far as I know, I have admin rights to look at service wreath, but I've not been granted admin rights for the CASA side. As far as I know, I've not been told I have that.
Okay.
I think I should just be able to go into the dashboard and see if I have any outstanding things, right? I think I'm done. Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know that the CASAS form shows up in service wreath as an outstanding, because you'll have the ones that Mount Pleasant requires, the 4 forms or 3 or 4 forms, but it won't show you that you've completed the CASAS form. I think CASAS replied with an email once you completed it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
there's nothing new that's been added like in the last 2 weeks.
No.
This would have been an email directly from CASAS to you. It wouldn't
Okay.
come through service wreath.
Okay. I think I'm all finished with everything.
Okay. And yeah, the CASAS thing was just a quick, more than anything else, is just a quick waiver of everything. So
Okay, good.
All right, so I'm going to share the itinerary. Heidi gave us kind of abbreviated itinerary. I kind of did one that's like every day that we walked through last time. I'll resend that with the updated information because like she changed, like I said, we were meeting at the airport at 2 o'clock and you had already updated that in the presentation to 1:15. So we will meet on the 17th at 1:15. The way the flight is going to work, to my understanding, is I now have the itinerary for the flights with the confirmation number, and I'm supposed to be listed as kind of the manager of our group, so that I should be able to go in to Southwest and log in using that confirmation number and check everybody in the day before.
Great.
So the way Heidi makes it sound is I just click a button and it clicks on everybody on the contract and I say check in. Um, and then I'll have to see once I check us in if that's me printing off a boarding pass because I'm used to like digital age now that everything's on my phone. So it may be us showing up with the paper boarding pass that you need to scan when we get there. Because I know when we went to the DR and we attempted this, it was Jason was up at the counter and we were going up one at a time and they were giving us our boarding passes. So the contracts are just a little bit different to deal with. So I think it's a good idea to get there at 1:15 so we can make sure everybody's there and then I can go up to the counter. If we have boarding passes already, I think it's easy because I can hand you your boarding pass and then you'll be ready to go. If it's not that easy, then it's going to be me probably going up to the counter and saying, how do you want us to move forward with this? So so getting there early is just going to help us get through that piece of it. So if it works that easy, then I would also check us in coming back. I would do the same thing. I'd go in and check us all in, and then figure out most likely through the hotel I could get to their business center or whatever and print off boarding passes again. So again, hopefully it's as easy as Heidi's making it sound. Uh, and I'll figure that out on Friday when it actually lets me go in and check in. So I'm just, like I said, I'm going to pull up the itinerary we had from last week. I just highlighted a couple things, and then we haven't spent a lot of time. We've kind of briefly touched on different things to pack. So I thought it might be a nice idea to kind of go back and look at that again while we're here. And it's nice because like even though Angie and Joe aren't here, they've done this multiple times. So they kind of have this, but since you guys are here as a family, it's nice because if you have questions, we can go to the packing list again and see if there's anything that we haven't talked about or discussed. But let me open this up and then I'll see if I can share my screen.
Should be able to. I just made you host.
Okay, can you see it?
It says that you
started.
there
There
you
we
go.
go.
Good.
See, I told you that does happen.
So again, just kind of quick, I'm just going to run through this really quick. I highlighted stuff just so that I wouldn't forget to do it. But like Amanda's talked about the family, we do have a different pastor now. So the link that I had emailed this out previously, and it has this link. This link is still, it redirects you to our new family. So it's still a working link. So if you click on it, it'll take you to the brothers. It'll take you to Hilda, who is the pastor, and information about her. So she will partner with us, and I'm hoping she shows up and is really involved with this because I want her to be involved with our community night because I feel like we want her to invite the community and hopefully participate in all that. And right now, I don't know if there's a church, if their church home is within the community. So it may be that we do on Wednesday night when we do the community night. It may be that we do it at where we're doing the build. So it may be lugging the grill out there, cooking out at the site, and we've done that before at the family's home that we're building for, and we would grill out there. But we've also done it at the church home, wherever the church home is. So that's up in the air. But we are doing a community night. So um, we lost. If we did have kids with the first family, it was kind of a little confusing whether there was some grandkids involved or not. The community night is still a kind of a time that instead of just the two brothers, we're thinking about the entire family. So like when we do our shopping list, if we want to buy things like for smaller kids or things to do at the community thing, that's where it's still nice to have, soccer balls or like Amanda and a lot of the other, uh, I'd say it seemed like it was all the women that did it, not just the
Because we're
the men were
thoughtful
all.
like that.
I know the men were all about let's make sure the hot dogs are cooked and handed out.
And I'm like, no, bring bubbles.
I know. My wife, it was I want to sit down and play with the kids, so it was the bubbles yeah, and Amanda was part of that. So things like that, it's nice because we're not just focused on the two brothers, but we're focused on reaching the community. And in this case, the two brothers, it lists them as Christians, so it sounds like they're Christians and involved with this church. So we want to make sure we're reaching the community there, and in that community, um, there's a huge likelihood that there's people in the community that aren't Christians yet. So we want to make sure we love on the community and not just the family. So that Wednesday night's a time for us to do that. And again, if you want to think outside the box, it's nice that there's a Walmart there. So if we don't have to necessarily plan ahead, we can think through and see what the community looks like and say, hey, I think we should go, do this. And we can always make a quick run or something like that. But definitely we'll have hot dogs, chips, probably bottled water or something like that for that event. But I'm hoping that um, Hilda, the pastor, will really show up and participate in that because I think that helps us communicate with the community when we have that lead person that's kind of there rooting everybody on. Um, so as far as the itinerary, like I said, this one's a little more detailed. I kind of try to do a play-by-play of each day where Heidi kind of said, hey, we're working for 3 days so I tried to break it out so you can get a little bit of an idea is these are the different events that happen during these days. But the only thing that's changed since our last meeting was the time that we need to get to the airport has moved up, which again, I think that's a good idea just to make sure we're all there because it's a contract and trying to figure that out. And Amanda went through like again on that Saturday night, all meals are on you. Um, I don't know when we'll get the Casa stand. So um, the last time we went, we actually had vans at the airport that we rented so we could go run through a drive-through. In this case, it's the hotel shuttle that's going to pick us up later in the evening and take us back to the hotel. And I can't remember if is there anything within walking distance of the hotel?
I don't think so. I think we could probably order pizza. I think that would probably be, we could
Okay,
probably, DoorDash something, but
sure.
yeah. There is
So
there's like a taco place kind of across the highway, but it looks
is
scary.
it, yeah, the 99-cent burritos or yeah.
Don't start your trip off like that.
Stay away from that.
Yeah.
But so ideally we would like fly in during our layover and hopefully have some time to maybe stop and eat dinner in the airport to get your dinner in. And then I would pack some snacks. If you really want, like Amanda said, to do a Grubhub or something like that or order pizza, I'm sure. But again, just be prepared. That's all on our own on Saturday night. So you'd need money or a charge card or whatever to do that. And then after we move forward, once we get into Sunday, we'll pay up until lunchtime, and then Sunday evening we start with the meal plan in Juarez. And again, if you go through the itinerary here, then you can see where it'll say all meals, and I'll say you need dollars. So that means you need money for all your meals. And then as you move forward, you can kind of see the breakout where now, once we're in Juarez, really the convenience store is the only thing you need a little bit of money for. And you can bring, again, American dollars works fine. Just understand you're going to get pesos as change. So I try to bring smaller bills so I'm not breaking a $20 bill and getting, what is the exchange rate? Like 17 pesos to $1 or something like that. So
Actually,
I
yeah,
thought,
I looked it up just the other day and it was like 18 something. It's pretty close to that. Yeah.
But
so,
you can use your card at the convenience store that we are going to. They will take your card.
Gotcha. Um, just just be prepared. There'll be a lot of people looking for handouts all through Juarez when you go through there. If you feel led to give somebody a couple bucks or something, I'm not telling you not to do that, but realize you're going to probably get hit multiple times, especially when we went to the convenience store. It was this kind of the same people hanging out every time we walked in there, and our college kids kind of got wrapped up into really wanting to help. But it's an everyday thing. So at some point, you're going to have to say, maybe help once, but not keep doing it. So again, just keep that in mind. But I look forward to that break at the end of the day to either uh, get get my pop that I've waited all day to get something to just kind of clear my throat. They've got, I mean, there's other awesome snacks there too to try out. They had ice cream or popsicle, all kind of stuff at this convenience store. So, but I still pack a lot of snacks just for my evening when I get back and I wind down and everybody still gets a little snack hungry. And uh, we'll have some snacks in the dorm, but if you want personalized snacks, and again, we'll go to Walmart so you can wait to buy stuff there. But if there's something specific you're not sure they'll have when we get down there, you may want to pack that in like your check luggage or something like that. I waited to buy, like I wanted some, whether it's pop or Gatorade or stuff like that to keep in the dorm. So I had something to drink in the evening. I think we could wait to probably purchase that in uh, at Walmart so that you're not having to again put a bunch of weight in a luggage that you're going to have to bring over. And the powdered mixes are awesome.
Yeah.
If we have water or bottled water, or typically we're filling coolers up with water, and then you can take it and you can mix it, and it's just something to kind of break the monotony of drinking water, if you like something with a little flavor or kick to it. Um, so I'll share this again as a final update. I'll email it out through, so you'll have this. I'll share the flight itinerary. It'll have the confirmation on it. Just don't go in and plug in the confirmation, because I'll give it to you so you can see when the flights are coming and going and our flight number. But I'll be the one that goes in and checks us all in so that we're not kind of getting mixed signals as who's checking it. And I'll do all that so that you guys don't have to worry about it. And then we are going to Carlsbad Cavern on Friday. So once we're done with everything, we dedicate the home. We come back across the border. We check back into hotels.
And
The
we get a
next day,
real shower.
and a real shower. Yes. Uh, there is a small swimming pool at the hotel. If it's up and functional, it was the last time we went. We had a couple of our people take advantage of that. So for me, like Amanda's saying, I look forward to just the shower and just laying down and doing nothing in the air conditioning. But yeah, so if somebody feels like they want to go out and especially like when we get back from Carlsbad, there'll still be a large portion of the day that you could go out and sit by the pool or whatever. But it's not the biggest pool, but it is a pool. So you can think about that when you're packing. That's the one time that you could go out and maybe take advantage of that. Um, so the church is part of what we're doing is on that Friday we have breakfast at the hotel. Through the hotel they have that. Lunch will be Subway sandwiches. We'll just buy a mix of assorted sandwiches, put them in a cooler, and we'll take that to Carlsbad Cavern with us. And then what we've done is we did the tour, and then we sit out in the parking lot and have lunch, and then we drive back to the hotel. And then um, I skipped over. So Thursday night, typically we would go to our host house and have a pizza party. But we have a different host this time, and he's like checking out, and he's got to be. I think it's his brother's graduation or something
Yeah,
with
so
Gus. So he's not going to be around Thursday night. So Thursday we can either go out and it'll be pizza on the church, or we can stay at the hotel and have pizza delivered and hang out at the hotel and have pizza. So we don't have to make that decision today. If there's a nice enough pizza place and we want to all go out and sit and have pizza or something. But again, it was kind of meant to be not a overly expensive, not like we're not going to a fine dining restaurant and spending $40 a plate for everybody, but just trying to have a Thursday night pizza party. And whether that's going to some place or doing it at the hotel, again, the church will cover the cost of that on Thursday night. Um, and then let's see. So again, the links on this all still work. for the family gifts, so because it switched from kind of what we think of as traditional family to the two brothers, we'll do two full-size beds. And I still have the Excel sheet. When when I send the email, I think last time I sent an email with a link to Google Docs or Google Drive. So I will put that Excel file in Google Drive, so it'll be a live file so people can sign up. So now that we know what size beds we're doing, so on that list we'll know that we need to purchase sets of full-size sheets, and so typically we try to do a couple of sets for each bedroom set. So that means we may need like 4 full-size sheet sets. We'll need pillows and all that. And the intent is to sign up for stuff and probably wait to purchase it when we're in Juarez, so you don't have to pack any of that stuff. And again, this is above and beyond. You do not have to participate in this. I don't think we have a really lengthy list because we have a smaller group anyway. So to me, this is just trying to cover some of the essentials so they don't have to go out and immediately buy bedding or something like that. And if there's something you can think that you want to add to it, feel free to add so we know that you plan on purchasing it. Or if it's just something you see at the store and you want to pick it up, then that's fine too. So again, this is to see that we've covered a certain number of items, but it's not required. And if you want to do something on your own, you can still do that. But the church is doing the 2 full-size beds, and they'll do the AC, the split unit, which is the air conditioning and heater unit that they install in the house. And then we still need people to sign up for devotions. So right now, Amanda, you're going to do one, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Amanda's covering one night. We have Logan Jones that's signed up for one night. So does that mean there's 2?
I think we've got 2 left. Well,
Two.
so Sunday through
Sunday,
that?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have 4 nights of devotion. So for me, typically what happens is we come back, depending on like when we do community night, it may vary in time, but at the end of the night when we're all winding down, we do a debrief. So my role this time around will be really focusing on the debrief, and that's kind of to get everybody together to talk about maybe, the highlight of your day, like, where you saw God moving in the day. But then in addition to that, we'll have a worship time. So Mike's been nice enough to step up. He's going to lead worship, so that'll be a couple of songs, and he'll provide words, so we'll have words in front of us. But we'll do a couple of worship songs, and then we'll do a short devotion time to wind down for the evening. So with that, we've got 2 slots filled. There's opportunity for 2 other people and again, no pressure. You don't have to do this. It's just, again, it's an opportunity. Say it again.
Kevin will take one.
I will too if you want.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Slots are
So-
full. Sorry, Joe.
So Amanda, if you just want to figure out, Amanda's going to do Sunday night to kind of kick us off, correct?
Yep.
And then if she'll let you know what night you're going to do. So, and again, this is just whatever you feel led to do a devotion on. Everybody feels led to do a little, something different, and it all has meaning when it all comes together. And it's neat to see how God works in those moments. Mike said, if you've got any requests for a worship song, especially if you're doing a devotion, reach out and let him know. Because if there's a song that you think ties well with your devotion, and he can get everything together for it, then he's happy to include that in the worship set.
Yeah.
So,
And the higher the octave, the better. He really likes those really, really high ones.
yes, that
I'll be
falsetto,
singing
man.
tenor then.
I am curious, does Mike know who let the dogs out?
Oh, he actually, that is so funny. That's literally what he's doing right now.
Oh, letting the dogs out?
He is letting the dogs out.
We'll let the dogs
All right.
in.
Yep.
You guys got to see Chloe.
Oh,
Chloe.
And so again, what Amanda said is exactly what Heidi said. On the 4th, we'll stand up at our seats, try to sit closer to the front. They'll do a prayer over us. We don't have to go down front. I was kind of relieved because they were going to do the question and answer, and then when she came back and said they're not going to do that, I'm like, just one less thing to stress over. But so we'll still do that.
9
I
a.m.
need to find out when we're getting our t-shirts. Because ideally I'd like to hand out t-shirts so that you guys, if you want to wash them before we get down there, so they're washed and ready to go. I'll send a follow-up email to Heidi hopefully that's something maybe we can pick up this weekend, and then you can just take it home and have it and be done with that piece of it. Those shirts, you can wear it whenever you want to, but ideally you want to keep it in decent condition to wear on Thursday when we do the dedication. Is that right, Amanda? Am I saying that right?
that's correct.
So we show up as a group on to do the dedication, and we're cleaned up for that, and we try to do group photos and photos with the family and the house and everything during the dedication. Um, so I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to share the packing list real quick. And again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. I just wanted to give you a chance to um, ask questions if you had them. All right, now I lost my Zoom screen. Hang on just a second.
While you were letting the dogs out, Kevin asked if you knew who let the dogs out.
Who let the dogs out? My dogs are looking at me like, you gonna let me out? So, and you're going to share this packing list with us again?
Yes,
no?
and the
Okay.
packing list is actually under Service Reef. The Service Reef has a lot of information
Okay.
there to filter through. So like I pulled this up and I just highlighted some of the things that I think is important. It doesn't mean there's not additional things. Like Amanda has things that were important to her on the trip that I probably don't think about, and so forth. So I just kind of went through just to briefly touch on stuff, give you a chance to ask questions, but I'm going to roll through it pretty quickly. Um, but like I said, if you have a question, then feel free to jump in there. Travel documents, the biggest thing for us, I feel like, is your ID and your passport's the biggest thing. Like insurance and stuff like that, that's all handled through the policy through the church. Um, so I don't see that being an issue for the trip. Uh, I have to take a training session through CASA so that I can drive the 15 passenger van. So in El Paso, the way they did it is that I've got to go through the training, and I'm the only one that can drive the van in El Paso. But then once we get into Juarez, they said anybody can drive the van, but I have to go through training. Uh, so it may be some of those bathroom trips where somebody else is driving, but on the U.S. side of the border, then I'm the only one that's listed to. I didn't want to put that on anybody else because there's some insurance issues that go along with that. That's been a back and forth. So I'll drive in the U.S. once we get to El Paso. If somebody needs to, like I said, if I'm busy doing something and Amanda wants to take everybody on a bathroom break or whatever, then that's uh, that free to do that. So, um, but yeah, definitely your passport, definitely credit card. I still try to empty out my wallet so just in case something happens, I don't have all my personal information in it. But any of us that have traveled before kind of know what that looks like as far as trying to minimize what we take, but definitely take the stuff that you need. But again, our passport is the biggest thing that we need. The gear, like when I look at that, definitely my phone. To me, my phone is my flashlight. It's my camera. It's everything that goes with it. So with my phone, I need to make sure that I bring something to charge my phone with. So aside from that, do what you want. I don't need the alarm clock because I use my phone for the alarm clock. Earplugs, I'm going to be on my CPAP, so hopefully I won't be snoring. I think other people may have wished they had earplugs to sleep because not everybody's on a CPAP. but again, take that for what it is. Sunglasses, definitely. Refillable water bottle, definitely. Something that you're okay throwing in the dirt, banging it around. Um, Something that holds at least 16 ounces of water so that you can, if you want to do a mix, a powder mix or something like that, we'll have the big Gatorade orange coolers that you can go and refill. So you don't need, a really huge cooler. But those refillables, definitely you want that on the job site. Um, Charging cables, the plug adapters, as far as voltage converter and all that, the shock is all up to the same stuff that we use. So same plugins and everything. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. Snacks, again, what you want to snack on as you're traveling and what you might want to snack on in the evening. Or if you just really have strict dietary needs, like I said, like they do peanut butter sandwiches. I'm allergic to peanuts, so I can't pack a peanut butter uh, sandwich for my lunch if I don't eat what the family provides or any of that. So um, I try to again enjoy the cuisine of what they have when we're there the best that I can. But if you think outside of that, you might want to pack a few more stacks just in case you can't do that. Powder drink mixes again. I love these. I think they're great. They're easy to pack and it gives you a variety of stuff. Whether it's just like simple Kool-Aid, lemonade type packets, or the Gatorade packets, or sports drink packets, it's just a nice um, something better than just water if you don't like drinking water all day. The quick dry towel or washcloth, it's nice to be able to either wet it down and put it on you if you're overheating, but it's also nice to be able to wipe some of the dust off your face because the dust kicks up when you're on some of the sites. And I think that's one of the things they sounded like was a struggle right now in the area was more these little dust um, uh, and they do. It'll kind of kick up. It'll look like a mini tornado, and then it'll go through and settle back down. Headphones, again, some of this is a nice chance to unplug, but part of me unplugging in the evening to wind down is I still download a movie that I've seen 100 times, and I put my headphones on, and it's just background noise. It helps me to chill out a little bit. So don't feel like you can't do that because we're on a mission trip. To me, that's, I still stay up and I sit out at the tables and I'll talk till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. But then when it's time for me to go relax and fall asleep, that's still my routine. So whether it's an iPad or my phone, I'm plugging ahead, Bluetooth or whatever, and I put my headphones on to just again to wind down. So um, the day pack or shoulder bag is nice so that you can pack up some of your stuff to take out to the job site every day. In the past, we typically leave those in the van, but at least you can walk to the van and get more sunscreen out. I typically still have like my wallet and uh, passport with me in the van. And again, if we go to the convenience store, you'll want some cash on you on the way back from the job site every day. So that little, whether it's a shoestring, whatever you call it, a shoe bag or a full backpack, string pack.
Yep.
So it's just nice to have something to put all your stuff in. Medication, I think all the medication's fine. The only thing uh, I didn't really have any issues with like insect repellent. I think maybe they had an ant infestation in one of the rooms.
Oh, yes, be careful of your food. And Matt, just for a time check, we've got about 6 minutes if we wanted to
Okay.
keep this at an hour.
Sure.
Yeah, so we'll go through. Didn't have a problem in the dude's side, but ladies, we'll go through that the ant conversation when we get down there. So
Sure. And again, if we can run to a Walmart, if we need to get some Raid or something, take care of that. But as far as like, it's not like insects where you've got mosquitoes and stuff crawling. There's not an issue without motion sickness unless you want it for the plane. I don't think that's a big issue. But again, all your normal medications. I would suggest if you have digestive issues, that like for me, Metamucil is a big thing to keep everything going the way that it's supposed to go. We had college students that because of what they were eating, they got like horrible constipation. So think about your own diet, kind of dietary needs and what keeps you moving the way you're supposed to, because that's miserable if your stomach's upset and then you're out on the job site having to work all day. So kind of think through those things. Bible, it's nice to have a Bible in hand. If we sit down, typically I'm on my phone looking at my Bible app, But if for some reason my Bible app doesn't work, then it's nice to have my Bible as a backup. So whatever works for you, nobody's going to be offended if you pull out your phone and look at the Bible app during our devotion time. That's just kind of normal. Bring your journal that we've handed out to everybody. Spending money, yes. We talked about the luggage. Locks, I never locked up my stuff at the shock where I felt like my luggage, because there's the cooks that are typically at the shock throughout the day, so somebody's there even when we're not. It's warm enough. The only reason I highlighted sweaters or sweatshirt is when we go to uh, the cave.
It is cold there.
Yes, and I mean, it's probably 20 degrees colder once you get down, because you're like 7 stories down into the ground for that tour, and it's a nice breeze that blows through there. So maybe think, especially if you're a person that I wore a t-shirt. I think I wore a t-shirt and shorts, but I got a little chilly. So if somebody that gets cold, think about that. Definitely a hat, some kind of hat to cover your head in the sun. Um, Eyeglasses, definitely if you need them. Kleenex tissues. I like baby wipes are nice to have, especially depending on where you're using the restroom. Um, Plastic bags. I bring trash bags because I put all my dirty clothes in the trash bags to keep it separate from my uh, clean clothes. So depending on how you want to sort that, it's just nice to have trash bags. Hangers are good, especially the bendable kind, because we're in bunk beds. So like a towel, if you want to hang a towel up to dry, because we're going to reuse those when we shower and stuff, having the hangers nice. Um, you can look through the toiletry list. Lotion, when we do concrete and stuff like that, your hands will dry out if you got it in all day. So it may be nice to have some of the something like that. Women, whatever you need. Hairbrush, hair ties, hair dryer. Again, if you don't want to pack everything, talk to the other women in the group and see if
Yep,
somebody
I'm
wants
bringing
to
mine.
share.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
like me, I can get out of the shower and my hair is dry. So, but lip balm, bring something that's got some UV protection, uh, because you won't think about it, but you'll get sunburn on your lips as well as your face. So any of that's important to have with you, because we're out there all day. Pants and jeans, we talked about this. I'm fine with jeans, but because I feel like it's a drier work day. I don't feel like I sweat through my clothes. And I feel like my jeans are a little more durable on a job site, but I'll still have some work pants that are more like a canvas that I can wear that dry out. So whatever you feel like, as long as they're long and not shorts out on the job site. Um, I'm still waiting on Gus to hear back about the dress for the church. I'm assuming it's casual like ours, but I just want to make sure that we packed appropriately, because we'll attend church with Gus on the Sunday before we go into Juarez. So tennis shoes, definitely good walking shoes, work boots on the job site. You can do tennis shoes on the job site too, whichever you prefer. Flip-flops or some kind of slides or something like that in the dorms is great for the evening to walk around or to go to the showers. Swimwear, if you want to do the pool at the hotel, that's the only place. And then, and I'll share this too. I put like the first items here for like tool bag, appropriate size hammer. Typically like a 16 to 20 ounce hammer is a good size for what we're doing. We do have people that show up with a little 12 ounce where it takes you like 30 hits to drive a nail. But make sure you bring something that you're comfortable swinging. And then, so I said pencil, tape measure, utility knife, work gloves, boots or tennis shoes, safety glasses if you're worried about that. Most of us wear sunglasses, and then handkerchief, bandana, or a small cloth. Those are the things I would encourage everybody to bring. And then the last part of that, like the needle nose, the wire snips, that's if you are a little of an overachiever and want to like go in and do the electrical work and stuff like that. Again, Casas will provide a lot of this for you. If you want to make sure you have it in hand, then those are some additional tools that would be worthwhile having. Okay. Um, any questions about or things that I may have not thought about packing wise?
I have some questions.
Sure.
Is there an outlet at each bunk bed that I can have my phone on a charger at night?
Yes.
So, yes. So there's enough power in the room. Like I bring a surge protector with like a 10-foot cord so that it's got multiple slots, and usually like a couple of us will share one surge protector. So on my list, I put a small surge protector would be helpful. Even if you're using it by yourself, it's nice to have one, because if you're plugging in multiple things, like we had, some people wanted to bring the speakers, like a Bose speaker, Bluetooth speaker. So they would be charging that, and then they'd be charging their Apple Watch, and then they'd be charging their phone. And so the plugins get filled up pretty quick. So the surge protector is nice, to make sure everybody has enough. And it's not like we don't, as far as I know, we're the only people in the space, so there'd be plenty of places to plug it in. But if you want it next to your bed in your room, then I would suggest a surge protector to make sure you have enough outlets to do that.
Well, and there's only
Okay.
what, 4 of us ladies, so yeah, there will be plenty of room for us to spread out and be close to an outlet if you'd like.
Okay, good.
And
On the list, I'm sorry, were you gonna add to that?
I was just going to add, because I was thinking of it. If somebody has a speaker that they want to bring and do a playlist, or I'm happy, I have a speaker I'll bring, but I don't do like Spotify or whatever. Uh, it's nice to have music playing, but we need to make sure it's appropriate music. Um, it just kind of it's nice. It lifts spirits for the day, but sometimes some of the music gets a little colorful and may not give the right image for what we're out there trying to do.
So I can't
So
use my like Dr. Dre Snoop Dogg list. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're laying down there, Matt?
for me, as long as the language is okay, and as long
So
as there's no
Oh, 50 Cent.
suggestions.
No
Well,
50
when
Cent.
the last trip to Juarez, we had some colorful music, and I don't think our host from Casas appreciated maybe the music that was
Oh,
being
that's
played.
funny.
So again, when we're there, even when we're on the plane and everything, we're still representing Mount Pleasant. We're representing Casas. So like what you wear makes a difference. The logos on your shirts, what you're selling, all that stuff. So we're just trying to make sure we're not a hindrance to anybody. So, and I think music, uplifting music, there's a ton of Christian bands, all kind of genres. If you want heavy metal, then there's Christian groups that sing heavy metal. But again, I don't do Spotify, so I don't have the playlist. So if somebody wants to do the playlist but doesn't have the speaker, I can bring the speaker. Uh, um, if somebody wants to do a playlist, so it is nice to have music out on the job site, because it just kind of lightens the day a little bit, and keeps everybody moving. Okay. Uh, Melissa, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead with your question. So
No, that's okay. So on the list, you also said a small, and I think it had quotes around it, water bottle. Is there, I mean, a reason to have it smaller than like my big 64-ounce mug, you know?
So my first year, I brought one of those, like a sports, what you'd see, like the athletes would have more of a cooler where it's like 3 or 4 water bottles worth. And
Yeah.
so I brought that, but the thing is I wasn't gonna fill that every single time. It's nicer, like our coolers have ice in them, and
Mhm.
so you go and you fill it up and you drink through 16 ounces, then you go fill it up again versus having your own one really big one. So, um,
Okay.
and
If I
it's
could,
just
if
go
I could
ahead.
make a recommendation really quickly, I have found this will be the perfect. I've actually bought one every 4 years. It's going to be the perfect water bottle, but highly recommend one of the double walled metal ones, because it'll keep it cold longer, and it's very windy out. So if you're a straw person or something like that, try to get something that has a lid on it that can cover that up, because it'll get grossed fast.
Got it.
So yeah.
And like I said, for me, having one that's about a water bottle's worth is nice if you do the powdered mixes, because they're typically made to do a water bottle's worth. So if I get a container larger than that, I have to figure out how many packets I need to add uh, to the mix. So, but again, you're welcome to bring something larger. It's just more for you to have to lug around and keep on the job site.
Okay.
Like I said, you can go as much as you want and refill it, at least the way that it's been in the past. So.
One other question. So I was on the Casa website and they had this really cute little like ponytail ball cap. Is there Casa merchandise
We get to
at the
shop.
Okay, good. Okay. I want the ponytail hat.
Yes, me too. They've not had that in the past. I was so
It's
excited
super
to see
cute.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Now we won't be able to shop until, so we'll actually shop Thursday night. So we'll
Okay.
go after we I think as soon as we cross the border, we actually go over to the Casas, like their local El Paso location, and they've got an awesome store. So we get to shop.
Okay, good. Perfect. That's all my questions.
Yeah, they definitely they want you to buy their merchandise, so it's definitely a trip over there. So anybody else have questions?
Hey, Stacy, still going?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. So it's everybody on the call here plus Logan, and Logan's college age, like
Yeah, we met him. Yeah.
okay, and then Stacy, and then Joe and Angie Wiggins. Did I miss anybody?
I think
Is
that's
that all of
everybody.
us?
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, we're right at 10. So a small group, but I think it'll be nice. And Gus has said if we get there, they can hire local help if we feel like there's a struggle getting it done. I I don't see us having an issue getting the build done. But he's kind of got that in his back pocket that if we're running behind on stucco or something like that, then we can kind of think ahead and maybe have one of their workers come out, and they just pay them a day rate, and they come in and work with us to help us make sure we get the task done. So the point is we don't want you stressing about the work not getting done. We'll get the work done. If that means we need to hire a couple day workers to help us, we'll get the work done. This is more about how we do the work and who we're doing the work for. Um, and so don't stress over the work itself, if that makes sense.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Um, that's all I have. Like I said, I want to make sure I go through Heidi's itinerary again, look at make sure our timelines align and everything, and then I will send an email out. Um, if I was trying to get everybody's number. It sounds like some of us have some people's numbers, but not everybody's numbers. Amanda, I know you've been texting back and forth. Do do you have everybody's numbers now, or are
I
you
do
still
not.
missing?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, if
Uh,
we could do one big group message so that we have everybody's, maybe with their, or if everybody wants to just text Matt and send him your number, and then you can gather up all those folks, or yeah.
Sure, sure. So, I c- like for I've got Mike and Amanda because we've been on a trip before, but Braden and Melissa and Kevin, if you want my number, I can give it to you, and you can just text me real quick and say, "Hey, this is Melissa. Hey, this," and then I'll start combining a list. I've got Logan's information. I've got Joe and Angie. So Stacy's the only one that I'm missing.
Okay. Yeah. I think out of the list, I think Braden, Logan, and Stacy are the only ones that I'm missing. So
Okay, so my number is 317-945-2421. And like I said, just send me a text. And I think if you were there the first week, you may have already given me the number on the a list that I have, but this way I have it. I'll hunt down Stacy and get her information.
I have Stacy's on my phone, so I can send you that. I'll send you her contact.
Sure. No, that would be great. And then I'll send out one nice group text to everybody. And so we'll just start that group chat and just keep adding to it the whole week that we're there. And then if anything happens and you need to get a hold of anybody in the group, you've got everybody's number for that.
Great.
Perfect.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, and it's coming up quick.
it is
So,
fast.
yeah, it seemed like we were just talking about it, and now it's like a couple weeks out. So, my schedule is like I've got final projects and I've got final exams, and then we're jumping on a plane and uh, leaving. So everything's hitting pretty fast for me. But once we get there, it'll all settle in, and like for me, it's like that you detach from everything and you get to just enjoy being there. So. I look forward to that. I think we're good for tonight. We'll see everybody Monday. I'll figure out the t-shirt, or Sunday, I'll figure out the t-shirt situation, um, and let everybody know before Sunday what that looks like. But I think other than that, we're good to go. Does anybody want to close us out in prayer for tonight?
I will.
All right, great.
Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for this opportunity to serve you and serve others. I am grateful that you are allowing us to go, that you are providing for us. I am so thankful for an opportunity to get to know this group of people better. And I pray that as we are blessing others, Lord, that we are blessed. I pray that you protect us and keep us safe on our journey. And while we're working on the house, so protect us from injuries and bug bites and any danger. Put your hedge of protection around us. I pray that we all draw closer to you. And I pray that you just walk alongside us and make our path. It's in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, look for my email. And as soon as I get everybody's numbers, I'll blast out a text and say, hey, this is Matt. Here's everybody's numbers. And it may be helpful to chime into that text and say, hey, this is Melissa. Hey, this is, so we can scroll back up and say, oh, that's this person's number. So you can add it to your contacts if you want to.
Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Yep. Take
Bye-bye.
care, everybody.
Good
Thank
night, everyone.
you.
Good
Bye,
night.
Braden.
Bye.